President Trump has fired FBI Director James Comey over his handling of the investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails.
Okay, I just wanted to suggest, for those of you that are part of a large company and you're an employee and you're being asked to do certain things, and after a while when you start to realize that it's against your best judgment, your best discretion, and if you continue saying yes and taking those actions against what you think is right, I've done that in the past, and I just want to suggest something that's important, that in the long run, those same leaders that are asking you to do something that you don't necessarily agree with, they're the same ones that often come back later, a year or two later, after you said yes, 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 and didn't speak up. They're the same ones that end up, terminating your employment or saying, "Why did you do that?" And all of a sudden they act like they didn't give you that advice. So again, I want you to often go by what you think's ethical. Be your authentic self. Your core values and principles, or making decisions based on that, not just what your supervisor asks you to do that year. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm looking forward to just an economic hardship. I'm looking forward to just mass economic carnage, because if you look through history, it's important that you identify that when all hell's breaking loose and there's blood in the streets, it's actually the best time, number one, to learn from mistakes, but number two, to invest. People end up selling things off when there's a market of fear, and that's when you can buy things at a very reasonable low cost. And later, when people feel good and they feel consistent and stable, is when those prices end up rising. So what I would suggest, for the majority of the time, if you want to be successful in anything you're doing, take the path less traveled. Don't do what everyone else is doing. Be proud to do things differently. Because if you're just following the pack, you're certainly not going to stand out from the pack and become massively successful.